Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream and the podcast. And we will go to the Portugal Club for number 3 of our Portugal Essentials, the Número Identificação de Segurança Social, your social security number here, which is a little bit different to how the social security number works in the United States. But it's becoming something that I'm have been asking for and causing a little bit of consternation and anxiety among people because although it's asked for, it has been quite difficult for some people to obtain. We'll do our best to give you the theory on how to get it, but how that works out, I think we need to turn to the community and across the web to find out who is able to get their NIS number easily, how they did it, and so that you can repeat that if you need to do the same thing. How are you this morning? Did you have a bon fin de semana? Did you have a good weekend? Do let me know in the chat. I know Pete did. Pete had a visit, and the neighbours from the village came to sing the Janeiro, the traditional Portuguese welcoming of the new year, and they come and sing that on your doorstep. I'm not sure, Pete, if I've got time to play the full video. Probably what I'll do is take a look at that, put it together, because I know there were 2 parts to it. Thank you very much for sending the video. I always appreciate it when any viewers, listeners send in a video or images to 913-590-303. I'll make a little video, and if I may, Pete, pop it up on the YouTube channel to show people just how warm and welcoming Portugal can be in terms of your neighbours popping around and singing in the new year to you. How lovely. And thank you for thinking of us with that, Pete. How you doing? Do let me know in the chat. Good morning to you, D-Duck, to Sarah, and to Capricorn Chris, who was in early, as was Matty. Matty's an early riser, isn't he? Bom dia, alegria a todos. He says, e feliz segunda-feira. Thank you, Matty, for your customary greeting. I'll have a quick look at the weather straight away. Obviously, that's the big deal here in Portugal at the moment. How is everybody doing with their cabin fever? I know we came here to enjoy good weather and to be out and about. Portugal really is an outdoor country, is it not? Going for a walk, going to the cafe, going to the market. It's about being out and about, not becoming terribly damp to the bone in the concrete constructed homes. So hopefully this will pass soon, although I think Storm Ingrid and its aftermath will be seeing us into February. I think I saw Garvo talking about that somewhere on the web. People are fed up enough now with the rain and the storms and of Ingrid, although it did bring some pretty snow to some parts of Portugal. Did you get snow? I'm sure you can see snow, Pete, from where you are. If I bring onto the screen the IPMA forecast for the next few days, the old guy in Europe joining us a little bit later on. He's featured this week in the Portugal Resident as well. He's the old guy in the Resident as well as in Europe, in Portugal, and Espinho specifically. He'll be here with his bird a bit later on, his Portuguese bird of the month. I always look forward to that. And chatting with James, who'll be here a little bit later on in the show. So this is the IPMA forecast, and I'm tempted to let you have a look at this yourself while I have a sip of my tea here. It looks as though there's certainly been a de-escalation in most parts of Portugal from a red warning to amber along the coast with the prolonged turbidity, like you can see on the screen behind me here on the Atlantic coast. It's been amazing. Me and Mrs. M did go and have a look at the sort of wildest part of the sea that we can see here in San Martino de Porto, and it was extraordinary. And we could look up the coast north to Nazaré, where I think the waves have been pretty spectacular. I don't know if anybody is in the water or has been in the water, whether it's good surfing time. Just because the waves are big doesn't mean it's optimal surfing, does it? I think there are other factors to take into account as well. Right, look at that. Breathe, Carl. I'm talking too much and too excited to be back here with you this morning at 7 minutes past 8 on the 26th of January. Taking a look at the weather now. Just a little sip of tea. Yorkshire tea there, lad. Right, okay, so you can see the amber warning on the screen there. Yes, and if I click onto... Oh, is that tomorrow? No, I'm looking at tomorrow. Let's go back to today. What's this? No, I don't need split view now. Thanks, Microsoft. Not now. You can see, it's a yellow warning today here in Portugal. Coastal temperatures around 13, 14, 15 degrees with choppy seas, and it looks like rain along most of the coast. Click on tomorrow. I'll put the link to this, of course, for you into the chat. Clicking on to tomorrow, similar sort of picture, but changing back to looks like an amber warning, and then beyond, looking to the 28th of January, still an amber warning, still very similar actually. So it looks like whatever you're experiencing at the moment will continue. I don't know what are the inland temperatures changing. No, pretty similar as well, I have to say. So yeah, looks like a couple 3 days more of a storm Ingrid and the aftermath. Sounding very dramatic at night, I have to say. Is this a silly question? Peter, geography teacher, why are storms worse at night, I wonder? The weather patterns don't know it's dark, do they? Why does it seem worse at night? Is it because of the human kind of psyche, and we just feel more threatened or vulnerable at night, so it seems worse? I wonder, why is that? Why do storms seem worse at night? Sorry if that's a silly question, but it occurred to me, and I thought I'd share it with you. So yeah, there you go. That's the weather anyway for the next few days. Popping the link to that into the chat there, and let us know if you've been able to take a picture of the snow. Mrs. M says we've got to go take the kids to the snow. I think it's probably going to be pretty dangerous in chasing snow around Portugal. It's not a country made for snow. If you live in a country made for snow, and my native UK is kind of borderline on that, it always seems to catch people out anyway. And then the terrible grey sludge for several days after. But I don't think Portugal, to be fair, is a or to be safe, more to the point, is a good place to go searching for snow. So what I'll do is I'll take your pictures instead if you've got any. 913-590-303, as we see in a new week here in Portugal on the Good Morning Portugal show with me, Carl Munson. Olá Bom Dia then from Chris. Are we going to get a Capricorn Chronicle? I think we might. He's been popping back and forth. Nice to see Nunu's catamaran left of your screen there. It's a really nice feature of the bay now, and can only look forward to the long nights of the summer where he can serenade you with his violin and a glass of wine on that catamaran. He's available for hire. Bon dia from Sarah as well. Yeah, back in the smoke. Landed at 11:10 last night after a very bumpy flight. Oh, you flew through Ingrid last night. I've started parking in short stay as much as I can, especially on the short trips, seeing the scam, seeing the same people on Sunday night. Oh, seeing the same people on. You're like a Algarvian commuter. That's amazing, isn't it? And so you can just nod in appreciation. So the same people on your train in the morning and on the plane on a Sunday. You're such a jet setter, Chris. Bon dia, Alegria Gumpers from the T-Duck. How you doing, mate? The younger Yermans are back from their honeymoon in Finland. Wow, what a place to go. They're telling us the temperatures here are positively tropical. Wow. Morning to you, P. No, thank you. Obrigado. We just got on this on Saturday. Big relief. Okay, how did you do that? We'll come back to that in just a moment. Important information. Let me make sure that Senor Oli has got the right connection. Thanks for that message, T-Duck, as well. Oh, wow, how nice. James, this is for you. See you soon, mate. Star of the Portugal resident this week. And yes, episode 85. He writes about it, from California to Portugal, the resident interview in his episode 85 of The Old Guy in Europe. Now, is Louise staying or going? I see her videos. Cindy's videos, pretty sad, aren't they? Her pal, all their pals with each other, like Louise and Cindy. Louise, am I leaving Portugal or not? She's done I think a response video to a response video, and still I'm not entirely sure, I have to say. Of course, that really touched her heart. So, having a visit from the neighbours to sing in January. Cabin fever, rather cabin cold. Yes, it's the opposite, isn't it? Cabin humidity at the moment. I think you get my drift, though, nonetheless. Morning to everybody from Pete. We will be on. It's true, isn't it? And I've been making this wisecrack for several months now. What is Storm of the Week? What are they going to call? Should we get ahead of this? What should we call H-I-J? It's going to be a J, isn't it? I was going to go for Hector, going in the wrong direction in the alphabet. Storm beginning with J. What would that be for next week's storm, everybody? Or is it this week's? Good morning, everyone from Gemini. How are you doing, Gemini? Carl, I've often found this. Octurnal thunderstorms are often elevated above cooler surface air, allowing them to be more intense, while temperature inversions trap sound, making thunder louder. And I think that's probably nocturnal then, isn't it? Psychologically, reduced visibility hides the storm structure, making it feel more unpredictable. and ambient quiet makes noises feel louder. Okay, there you go. Thought it might be more psychological than actual, because there's no reason, is there, that the nightfall would necessarily make a storm any better or worse. Oh, it's Storm James, which sounds, oh, okay, so we've got the yin and the yang. We've got the yin of James Holly this morning, and the yang of the Storm James as well incoming, it would appear. We're heading to Seville for the week. Less rain, more. Well, yeah, don't blame you. I really don't blame you. As Antonio Barbosa would say, we're not trees. If you don't like it where you are, you're not rooted there. Pop and see somewhere else for a little while, which I think would be. I mean, that did occur to me this morning. It's like, oh, yeah, I can understand anybody who thinks, do you know what? I'm not gonna stay there for all of January. I'm gonna go and do something else and then come back when the weather is exactly how we like it. Morning to you, Mel, as well. Bon dia to you. How are you? Is your land pretty soggy at the moment? I suspect it might be. And Gary Mills, nice to see you as well, Gary. Bon dia all. Right. Got a few images to show you as well, and the theory on the NIS number, the social security number here in Portugal. I thought this was really cool. Oh, before we go there, on Friday we did the news review with Natasha Don live, and really enjoyed it. That's an old one: Portuguese success, Chinese laundering, and grumbling Americans. That's one of our early ones. And we decided to do the news review with Natasha Don live last Friday. And very good it was too. We've had an early notice back from Peda, who really enjoyed it, I have to say. Where's your feedback gone, Peda? There it is. Didn't even know, says Peda, let alone the change to live. Didn't even know there was a recent podcast, a resident podcast, I beg your pardon, on YouTube until this live episode popped up on my computer this evening. Really enjoyed it, especially the political situation with the Shaga runoff in the offing. The last thing I want is to jump out of the frying pan into the fire, even if it has not yet overthrown Westminster. I see what you did there. I feel slightly more confident that old Nige will get the boot here in Portugal, but of course, the Westminster get the Celts have to suffer. Anyway, at least for the time being. It looks like he likes it. Anyway, he did veer off there, as he tends to do. He can deviate, Peda. I've never had any heads up on any episodes. There's just so much content now, isn't there? It's not, it's not the first day on the internet, as it were. It's not our first rodeo online. You really have to try harder, I think. Although the algorithm, the big deal is made of the algorithm, and it supposedly serves up what you want. I think to find what you want and to find new things is becoming increasingly difficult. I found a fabulous recording of this popped up quite by accident. Oh yeah, because I was writing about Portuguese music, and that popped a performance by Aware, who were at the Goat Festival, and it was beautiful, absolutely lovely. I might tell you a bit more about the article that I'm writing about Portuguese music, an introduction to Portuguese music. I've picked 10 artists. And it's difficult when you pick 10 artists from a country's music. It's going to be a struggle, isn't it? You're going to leave people out. But if I get time, I'll mention the 10 to you to see what you think of those. Hand on heart, subscribed or not to date. I've never had any heads up of any episodes, says Peda, about the resident news review, which is on a Friday and is now live in the morning. Keep up the good work, both. And yes, I agree with my fellow countrywoman. More live episodes, please. Oh, that was Jackie who also liked that. Thank you for that feedback there, Peda, on recording the Portugal News Review live there. And thank you, Jackie, who popped in as well that morning. Where was I? Oh, yeah, sharing a few images with you this morning. Here's another one. Aren't these nice? A collection of fictional flags representing the space programs of different countries. Now, this is made up, is it not? If they're fictional flags, these aren't the space programs of countries. But isn't it a cool opportunity to reinterpret the flags of these nations, but with a space theme? I think this is probably somebody trying to come to the attention of Elon Musk, isn't it, over on X there. I like Portugal's. They all look pretty cool, actually. They are I don't know. This is what happens when you give when you give a bunch of flags to the new graphics guy who's just taken up his job and still keen. I think I really like these. So thank you very much to whoever made those. I'm not clear still who made those, but like those very much. And as we continue to try and get together on planet Earth, of course, there are people who want to take us out into space as well as us. as a solution to go and be peaceful somewhere else. And these are the flags under which those rockets might be flying under. This also came to my attention over the weekend, Novo Portugal, thanks to the recent surge in the price of gold at a whopping massive 4,151 euros an ounce. It's probably doubled since this was written. The value of the Bank of Portugal's gold reserve now reaches more than 47 billion euros, an amount that makes Portugal the 14th richest country in gold in the world. Now, isn't that interesting? We are punching way above our weight than it would seem due to decisions not to flog it off. And there's always the matter of, have we really got that? It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark, isn't it? How do we audit that? How do ordinary people know to take that seriously? There's all sorts of intrigue around gold, isn't there? And it does seem it would be a good measure of a country's value and worth. It does beg all sorts of other questions, though, doesn't it? How is it audited? How did it get to be there? And how does it work? You know, a country's gold reserve. Do countries flog? Has any country flogged off its gold reserve just recently to raise money? And why would they bother to do that when they can just keep printing money just anyway if they've got a federal reserve? What is the point of gold? On the one hand, it makes complete sense, doesn't it, that we have a physical, tangible gold reserve in any country as human beings for the administration of that country. But then how is it? Is it traded? Is it just seen as an asset and a sign of quiet sort of collateral-based wealth? How does it work? 47 billion euros of gold, and it must take quite a lot of money to protect that lot on an ongoing basis as well. Where is it in Portugal? We're not likely to find out, are we? I wonder. And from gold to salad, the gold of nutrition, something I can't explain it, but I thought this exactly right when I looked at this image on my screen on whatever device I was looking at it on. I thought that has to be Portugal. There are some giveaways here. There's the raw onion. There are hard, large flakes of sea salt. And there is the basic combo of onion, cebola, alfalfa, lettuce, and tomate there. Tomate can be used in a number of contexts, of course, so do bear that in mind. And the addition here, somebody really pushing the salad boat out with grated carrot and grated red cabbage, which is always purple, funnily enough, even though it's called red cabbage. 2 big spoons to serve it. It's been dressed already, isn't it, with a bit of olive oil and vinegar as well. But the giveaway to me is the surgical plate upon which it's delivered. That could find itself next to a surgeon, couldn't it? Upon which parts of the body have been removed and placed upon it. But the stainless steel canteens from around the world, the real giveaway here in Portugal when you get presented with a salad like that, the ingredients and the whole presentation going on there. And had something very much like that on Friday. That, to me, should come with a bit of grilled fish and a few boiled potatoes to make a fantastic dish here in Portugal. How to cook stuff. I think it's on Facebook, said I can't explain it, but you can look at this photo and immediately tell that it was taken in Portugal. Salada, Portugal, Portuguese food there. I thought that was interesting. And this morning, if I take away the ticker tape and you're watching rather than than listening this morning, hold on a minute. Where's the blimmin' banner set gone? I'm in a different show here. Oh my goodness! Right, okay, here it is. I just want to take the scroll off for a minute. So if you are watching, you can see what the Portuguese has said, because I can't read this out, but you can see it for yourself between you and me. If Portugal had a smell, what would it be for you? If Portugal had a smell, what would it be for you? One of the aromas that immediately came to mind for me that was new to me when I arrived, it was definitely the bacalhau, the salted cod display in the supermarket. Roasting pork, I think that's a smell I have to say I do enjoy here in Portugal. But if Portugal had a smell, what would it be for you? Coffee? The smell of sugar? Perhaps. There's Tony Bryant, the Portuguese's comment on that at the bottom of your screen. So let me know what you think about that. Alan sent some pics in. Oh, hey, Neil. Oh, okay. The gold apparently is safe and well. Thanks, Neil, for that. Oh my God, you can keep your son. Lol. 2 feet of snow so far in Massachusetts. Wow. In case you would like to enjoy some sun, here it is without having to get cold. Alan in Massachusetts keeping us up to date with snowfall over there. This is awesome. So without getting cold or getting any grey sludge, here is the snow from Massachusetts this morning. Very good of you. Thank you. Look at that. 2 feet on top of the car. I'm going to work from home today. Look at that. Is that from this morning, Alan? Very good of you. Very kind of you to think of us in that way. 913-590-303 for more pictures of that kind. And just leaving that hanging there like a smell, in fact. The people who do that sort of thing, crop dusting public areas, you rascals, you know who you are. If Portugal had a smell, what would it be for you? Tony, petrichor is a polite way of saying the smell of rain, I think. There's no way of saying the second part politely. Smoking, I think some people would acknowledge that as well. And diesel or two-stroke, when you hear the moped in the distance. And he's 2 miles away. And he comes past and leaves in his wake a trail of two-stroke fumes there. That's definitely, isn't it? A few smells that we know and love here in Portugal that we would miss if we didn't have them. Let's get that banner back on and say thank you very much. I'm going to take a supporter of the show every day, and I'm doing this in no particular order apart from the monthly subs that come in. If you would like to support the show and join the last person and those people who support the show in a financial way, you can do that. You can join the Portugal Club and get some value there. We will go to the social security number in a moment. As part of the value, a new feature over there, Portugal Essentials. But today's show brought to you in part by Mr. Wenger, a regular contributor to the show. Thank you very much, Bob and Viv, for your kind support in all kinds of ways, it has to be said. But a big shout out to you. I do a shout out every morning now for those people who support the show. The Wengers this morning, thank you very much to you both. And if you support the show, don't worry, I will get to you in due course as well as we make a daily thank you. T-Duck can smell a barking dog at 400 meters, a very keen hooter, as in nose, I should add. There. Yeah, if Portugal had a smell, it would be barking dogs. T-Duck, did you also get a foreign identification number? I've never heard of that. Hold on a minute. I've missed a bit there for context. Let's go back. It's Happy Australia Day. Oh, when we go over to the Portugal Club, we might also see that today is, I think it's International Port Day as well. I meant to mention that to you. Is that today? Oh, no, it's tomorrow. So we'll do something on port tomorrow. Maybe you'll have to have a sip. International Port Day tomorrow. Yes, the special day today is that James is joining us soon. Let's go through a few more comments before he joins us on the screen. And we'll do the NIS as well before he arrives. And then we will welcome him. Not everyone has funds to live elsewhere for days, weeks, or months. Well, I'm sure there are ways, though. What you could do is do a swap and say, "Do you want to come and stay?" That would be really wicked, wouldn't it? To say to somebody, "Look, I want a change. Do you want to come and stay in my lovely place in Portugal for January?" They might not thank you by the end of that. One of two messages from Sarah. To get on this, we went to the Loja de Cidadão Setúbal. IIRC, there are, what does that mean? There are 12 of them to do that. We got, yes, IRL, IIRC. What does this acronym stand for? IHMO or IMHO. I got a senior specifically for foreigners for the Espaço Cidadão. Okay, watch out for that. Does that mean you get better or worse treatment? I wonder. Was that me that went when my vision blurred there, or was that the camera? Happy Australia Day today. Thanks, Mel. Mel, I think the alternative is to do jobs that will be impossible when it heats up. Digging, weeding, and drainage are all jobs you can't do in the summer heat if it gets very hot in your part of Portugal. We also got our NIST numbers at the Espaço Cidadão. It wasn't difficult. Showed our papers, and they emailed the numbers the next day. That is the theory. And I'm so glad it worked out that way for you. We renewed our digital keys, the Chave Móvel Digital, since we'd gotten new passports and asked for a NIS. There was lots of stuff with the cell phones. And then she said, you'll get 3 text messages and an email. And it worked. A certain immigration service wanted €375 plus EVA for each of us to get our NIS numbers. Thank you for the anonymization of that. Warren Buffett said something like this: you dig a hole to get gold, then you dig another hole to store it, and you pay people to guard it. Yes, must be what Portugal's doing then, with however many billions it's got. And I've lost that meme for the moment. But a lot of gold here in Portugal, 14th richest country in terms of gold, and a lot of money paid presumably to look after it. Thanks for that, Alan. You can go back to bed now. Thank you very much. Did you get a foreign identification number? Don't know what that is. We downloaded our numbers. They came on a document with the NIF, SNS number, and NIS. Why not do them all together? And a foreign identification number, the FIN. So there's a FIN as well as a NIF. Never heard of it. Me neither. If Portugal had a smell, it would be barking dogs. That's where we got to. Lovely smell of coffee for Gemini. Barking dogs. That would be a sound, not a smell. Yeah, T-Duck. Maybe wet dog. Oh, who doesn't love us? Not many people. I think it's like the smell of your own, let me call it gas, and children and wet dogs. You only like the smell of your own, after all. Yes, we got the document with all the numbers, including the foreign identification. Okay, well, that's really good to hear. I have to say, late last night, that was when that photo of the snow was taken. It'll be worse when I go out in a couple of hours. Be careful out there, Alan. Do you know what the foreign identification number does? I was mystified. I've no idea, says T-Duck, what it's for. But if I didn't have it, someone would ask me for it. True. Wet dog, always a relief when smoking covers that up. Morning to you, Lorraine. Morning, yes, to the hunters. Living near Arganil, where pine wells make pellets, and it's got to be pine and eucalyptus. Okay. So the smell of pine and eucalyptus, that is very much a Portuguese smell. I like that. If I recall correctly, thank you very much for that, IIRC. Thank God I'm a citizen. I would never go through all the hell to become one. Viva the snow, says Alan. I can't even access my land. The road is too wet to drive down. Currently can't do work I wanted inside my house either. Too many water leaks. Oh dear, Mel. Stay warm by the fire. Let's go to the Portugal Club then, where we will look at how to officially get a NIS number. Then we'll have a lovely chat with James Holly this morning, the friend of Banana Slug. I think I finally got that right. The old guy in Europe, of course. Popping over to the Portugal Club, where, as I said before, that's where you can join free, but you can also join and support what we're doing here. There's the calendar. If I add that to the stage, Mrs. M told me, on school, you can do this view as well. Isn't that amazing? I didn't know that. But so you can see what's coming up as well. I do list a lot of the shows that are upcoming. But we're going to the classroom now, not to all the other stuff that's over there, and the Portugal Essentials. And number 3, Portugal Essential number 3. The NIS is your unique 9 or 11-digit Portuguese social security number, issued by the Instituto de Segurança Social. It identifies you in the social security system, tracking contributions, entitlements, and records for benefits, and records for benefits like unemployment, sick pay, maternity leave, pensions, and deeper SNS healthcare access. Okay, they're all integrated together, aren't they? They work together, and that's why getting them all on one piece of paper sounds pretty cool. And of course, as Parola Grande was pointing out on YouTube, these numbers tend to be on your citizen card as well, on your residency card. It's vital for the legal employment. That's why it's important. Salaried or freelanced via Recibos Verdes, the green receipts, making social security payments, claiming benefits, and especially in 2026, completing, there we go, I'm a residency permit applications or renewals, which are incomplete without NIS and often get rejected on that basis. No NIS means limited work rights, benefit access, and full long-term integration in Portugal. Best way to get it handled online is recommended for us foreigners. Log into Segurança Social Direita. The link is there. The Pedido de NIS para Estrangeiros section. Upload passport, ID, NIF, proof of address, residence, permit, lease, utility bill, and work proof if applicable. It's free and usually processed in a week, in days to weeks, not months, as we've become accustomed to with some other processes here in Portugal. I got mine. I was sent a pro forma from my accountant. If you're a business here and you work with an accountant, they can send you an application, a little single piece of paper, which I took into my social security office, and they gave it to me there and then for a small fee in person, and has been proven by friends here this morning. Visit the local. Oh, actually, no. This is at the Segurança Social office, which I did. Bring the same documents, often faster with employment docs. Or actually, I need to add this then, don't I? Go to your Loja de Cidadão, and that is the best way it would appear. Despite all of what I'm reading out here, that's the way that T-Duck and the Yermans have done it. I think I need a screenshot of that, or at least to pick up some of that text and add it here. The employer can do it for you. If hired, your company typically requests it. Activate Chave Móvel Digital for easy portal access and check your NIS status online afterwards. There it is. Maybe I should put the link to these essentials into the chat now, and then I'll play his theme tune and bring him onto the screen, him and his bird of the month here in Portugal. So there's the details for the Portugal essentials. Let's get that off there, and let's play that beautiful guitar tune which we know and love, which heralds the arrival of the old guy in Europe. Swing. Olá,
bom dia.
Bem, amigo. Como estão?
Muito bem, obrigado.
Muito bem.
Consigo?
Muito bem também.
Igualmente.
Igualmente. Slowly but surely, James.
Excelente. All my one-word sentences.
Cinco estrelas. We're still, where have we got to now? We've gone from about 18 months to, what, 3 or 4 years of age, Portuguese language?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I'm somewhere between 2 and 3. Although the vocabulary is more sophisticated than most 2-year-olds, but putting it all together, like actually speaking, is more,
it's another level.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. The final frontier, it would appear. And of course,
sorry, I was going to say, speaking of vocabulary, you mentioned the red onion. As I understand it, in Portugal, it is called a purple onion. Cebola
cabbage.
roxa.
Do you mean the cabbage or onions?
No, the onions. Cebola roxa.
That was a red cabbage, I think. Which it's a matter of mystery that the red cabbage is actually purple. If I bring that back onto the screen, that's
I see. I saw it, but I wasn't really paying attention, and I heard red, not purple. And anyway,
well, the cebola vermelho. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
No, cebola roxa, which is purple onion.
I still giggle to this day when I see cebola in the supermarket. I remember Frank thinking there was an Ebola festival here in Portugal. It was a Cebola festival, not an Ebola festival. I mean, it's possible the Portuguese will have a festival about anything, basically, but that does seem a little bit off, doesn't it? The Ebola festival.
Yeah, usually it's about cheery things to celebrate.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So how are you? And how has Ingrid been treating you on that part of the coast of Portugal?
Ingrid, see, I keep saying I don't follow the news, so but I do follow the weather, and I said, I saw there was a warning about some strong weather, and so I put 2 and 2 together and figure Ingrid must be the storm that's blowing over.
It's true, but the next one, guess what, is called James. We've already moved on from Ingrid. Seriously, it's James next.
It may be robust and animated, but it won't be angry.
Yes, that's right. It will mean business, but it won't be too showy offy about it. Maybe have they been watching the show? And I mean, that's the problem is they've got a challenge, haven't they? Finding new names, because as Pete was suggesting, this is a blooming storm every week. We're back round here again.
Well, they used to all be female names, and then they they said, we're getting thin on that, so let's start using male names for these things. And I don't know how many names there are in the world, at least in English. I would imagine quite a few, but they'll run out eventually. And if this whole global climate change thing is real, then we can anticipate more and more and more of them. So
just when you thought it was safe to go back to the beach, James 2 Maybe that's what they do. Be like movies. James
That's right.
2, the sequel.
James the sequel. I
Yes.
like it.
Mr. S. Cebola Roja, not Cebola Vermelho, mio senor. Good morning.
Si.
Olá Bom Dia to you, Mr. S. You and your red onions there. I
Purple
am
onion.
quite purple. Yeah, okay. Yes. I eschew tend to avoid the onion in salad. I do like it, but I find it. I'm just aware of it for the rest.
It doesn't like you.
It doesn't like me, especially. It can repeat on me.
Yeah, I enjoy a little bit of it.
You do. I mean, that is such a Portuguese picture. I'd never really had salad like that presented on a plate in quite that way. And that is so Portuguese. Were you prompted at all by this? If Portugal had a smell, what would it be for you? Could be salad dressing, I guess.
Couldn't come up with one, except that I've lived pretty much exclusively by the ocean, so there is the sea air. With that's particular to a location. I wouldn't say, oh, Portugal smells like, and then I just come up blank. I don't know.
Yeah,
Portugal.
warm custard would be another. Warm custard and canela together. And I must report, I did see a Portuguese person. I was out having coffee with some colleagues, and one of them did eat the pastel de nata with a spoon. It does happen. It does happen. It's just one of those things where there's an official rule. You know, the Portuguese people will say, "Oh no, that never happened," and then the next day you see it. They just don't want to it or something. I don't know what it is.
For me, mentally, there's so much other stuff to remember and to know and to enjoy. I just kind of take a who cares attitude about spoon or cinnamon. I don't care. Who cares? Have it the way you like it. You know, swallow the whole if that satisfies you.
Yes.
Nibble the edges first and then, you know, suck the middle out. Just do it however you want to. I don't care.
You are taking us back, my friend, to the erotic novel that we very nearly wrote together. Do you remember those days?
Very nearly.
Oh my! Came so close, as it were. That could all in the erotic novel. Yeah, no, another project for a rainy day when we've got nothing else to do. Oh, at the moment, perhaps. So, are you getting any cabin fever? You say you've lived on the coast quite a lot, so presumably wet weather doesn't bother you. I mean, I've heard you say this before. It's the weather. Don't worry about it. It will change soon. It doesn't get you down, does it, so much?
No, and this has really been the longest period of consecutive days of rain I've experienced since I've been in Portugal that I remember. And I'm fine, but I tend to enjoy being home anyway. So for me, you know, there may be the 1 or 2 days it's like, oh, it'd be nice to go out, but I really don't want to go out in the rain. But not cabin fever. I'm not anxious or, you know, just itching to go get it. I know it'll break. I mean, this is, I think, part of the reason I can be calm about the weather is like everything else in life, it will change. Yeah. And generally in Portugal, there are breaks during a rainy day. So there's sunny spots. So this has been unusual where it's just been rain all day for days in a row.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. The rain bucket is half full and not half empty.
And filling.
Do you know what? I am aware that you might have pointed this out to me. Moaning about it really doesn't help because it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I know I have been moaning too much about it. So
well, it impacts your mood. It impacts how you're experiencing your present. So if you're moaning about anything, it's making your life more negative. So if you can find a positive way or a way to not think about it, then, you know,
but why wouldn't you?
better for your day. But that's the notice, choose, act thing that I say over and over again. First, you have to notice that you're moaning, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't realize that all they do is moan. Yeah, and they're never happy. It's like, ooh, that feels like a miserable way to walk through life. You know, from my perspective.
Well, that's our free will right there, isn't it? That's our free will as human beings. If that's what you want to do, you're welcome. But do it somewhere far away from us, please. In my humble opinion, if you do not enjoy to be at home, you set up your home. That's a very interesting point there. Yes, the irony there, says Pete, the irony of your cold computer shit. That's not being at home, that's being at work. As far as matters concerned. But yeah, interesting then. So you're what's the American phrase? A homebody. Is that right? That's not an insult.
I don't even know that I would call myself that, but if I was going to put a label on it, I'd say introvert. So I don't have a pull to go out and mingle with people all the time, or to go out, you know, if I want to go out, it's because I want to enjoy the fresh air, or to take a walk, you know, along the beach, or, you know, it's more about my environment than whether I'm in my house or not in my house. So yeah, so it works fine for me.
Very good, very good. Okay, and in your new home of Espinho, we told the story, James. You're everywhere at the moment. You're the man of the moment.
Almost famous.
We're working on it, aren't we? Loads of exposure.
Between the two of us, maybe one of us will get there eventually.
Yes. Or maybe not. The resident then.
Probably not.
Goodbye, USA. Olá Bom, which of course is where you popped up and where we first met you. You're in the resident. Gave us another chance to have a chat, didn't it? This is the interview based on the chat we had, taking advantage of the opportunity.
That chat there.
Whenever we can. That one, look. You are currently the star of the Resident podcast. Actually, no, you were last week on that. And this week, there'll be another one tomorrow that I record, and that'll be published on Wednesday. The big Resident podcast. But last week, James was our star over there. Don't move to run away. Find a place that suits you better. That might apply to your front room, given the conversation we've had this morning. But yeah, I lifted some of the salient points from the conversation, and they are now available at the Portugal Resident. And that's getting a really nice reception. That paper is being taken on Open Media's US tour. So there'll be a few Americans reading about you and your personal experience of moving here to Portugal, which I think is lovely. So
well, it's funny. When I look at that, I said, you know, for all the digital stuff that's going on, the posting, you know, on social media pages, all this computer generated stuff, which I guess actually the article is as well. There's still, at least in my experience, there's a sense of verification or I don't know what you would call it in printed material.
Yes.
So, you know, it's one thing to see a blog, it's another thing to read it, and somehow reading it has more like, ooh, this must be important. Yeah, more like that. And it's interesting how we perceive things, and probably the millennials and whatever the following generations are, they don't hold it the same way because printed material just has not been important in their lives.
Correct, absolutely. I think magazines seem to be holding their value. I see in a newspaper shop here in Portugal, you know, when I go and get my hard copy of The Resident, there are some beautifully produced magazines, and they're not cheap either. So I'm guessing there's still an appetite for magazines, and it's definitely something to do with our generation, isn't it? If it was on the telly, it was important, and that's definitely not true anymore. But there's still that feeling that it might be. And it's the same in the newspapers. If it's in the newspaper, it must be important. And it's not true, but we still have that sense, don't we, that it might be because it was somebody went to the bother of printing the paper. Did you manage to get a hard copy in your part of the world?
A hard copy of
The Resident?
No, I haven't looked. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
well, you are in the paper this week for those who still take hard copy very seriously. And a big comeback apparently, says Mel. Vinyl is back, isn't it? And regular cameras, 35mm camera. And my kids, T Duck and Mrs. Duck bought the kids some beautiful Legos, as Americans call them. I call it Lego. Americans call it Legos. And one of the kits was of what looks like a 35mm camera. So that's a funny resonance, isn't it? To have a Lego version of a camera, which is a retro thing in its own right, and kids are building.
All the new kiddies can say, "What is this?"
Exactly. It was really quite authentic. I used to work with 35mm photography back in the day, and I was explaining to my son, well, that bit does that, and you have to load it up, and you have to pull a little bit of the film out and engage it, and then wind it on, and at the end you push the little button, you wound it back again. Oh, you remember, you know all of that.
Yeah,
don't you?
Then you wind it back into the can, then you take it out of the can in the total darkness, then you put it in a bunch of chemicals, and then there's a whole lot that goes into it. Yeah,
it was incredible. And the first wedding I ever photographed, I opened the back of the camera before I rewound the film. and I shut it very quickly. And fortunately, it was so tightly wound. I think that it was okay, but that could have been very bad. But those were the things you had to worry about. None of you taking 5 million digital pictures and choosing the best of them like you can these days. Look, big comeback in younger people of regular cameras and vinyl records. So yeah, who knows? Maybe newspapers. Maybe they'll have a cool newspaper just thrown onto their desk next to their coffee for the look, if not the actual experience. And dumb phones as well. Yeah, someone was talking to me yesterday about dumb phones. These are, I suppose, what we would have called the bricks. Not to be confused with the BRICS nations, who might also be making dumb phones. But anyway, phones that aren't smartphones, the opposite of a smartphone, obviously, a dumb phone.
I had an experience of that was really cute, actually. I went to the Apple store to get my very first iPhone because I had basically what are now little burner phones, a little tiny, stubby, tiny little phone that my kids gave me because they said, "Dad, you need to get updated." So after having that one for 6 years or whatever, and it was iPhone 8 or 9 out, it's like, okay, maybe it's time to get an iPhone. I went into the Apple store, and I was explaining to her how I hadn't had an iPhone before, and blah blah blah, and
be gentle.
I pulled out my little phone.
What? Oh right, okay. Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, you have a cute little dumb phone." And I said,
a little bit patronizing.
I said, "How dare you call my phone dumb?" And then it came together. Oh, smartphone, dumb phone. Oh, like I got it. But yeah, it's appropriate. A dumb phone is like the phone that doesn't do anything a smartphone does except make a phone call.
Well, and maybe they don't even want that. I don't know what. Because that's the interesting thing to me about phones is they're not really phones necessarily, are they? Maybe people will go back to a landline as well. What do we really want the phone for? I don't make
pagers. Those will come in. Those will come back. Let's get a pager where we can't do anything with it.
But James, isn't that how we use a mobile phone now? A smartphone as a pager. We're receiving messages to respond to, aren't we? And most people prefer that. I know, actually, I say most people. Portuguese people love the phone and they love to talk to each other on the phone like that. And I prefer a message to a conversation every time. And
I prefer a conversation be face to face whenever it's possible, like in person.
Yeah,
so then my go-to, if not that, is in video, like a video conversation. And then it goes to voice. After that, for me, texting is about logistics. I'll be there at 8. I'm on my way. Where are you now? It's not like, I was feeling so sad and then this happened. And it's like in text. No, thank you. It gets so, there's so many ways to misinterpret written language.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I saw a great ad once where it was showing one guy on the text being really excited at a party and the other guy at home fixing dinner. And it's like the one guy was very excited and he was talking as he was texting. He said, "You should be here, man. It's so exciting." And the guy gets it. "Oh yeah." Like rubbing it in. "I should be there." And so he said, he texted that back and the guy read it as being excited. And they both had it completely confused because it was all in text and it could be read either way. So you really have to be careful when you're writing stuff. And I prefer speaking if it's going to be something important that needs to be communicated.
Yes. Well, I was in this conversation I had yesterday about dumb phones. I did go through how I use my phone. And I think it's an interesting analysis because for me, I would say it's like a boredom reliever. So that'll be a good reason to get rid of it. Like I default to looking at my phone. As an option to not doing anything, I might just look at my phone and scroll. So that would be far better done on a bigger device with a more generous screen than a tiny little thing that I'm staring at. And arguably might be better to be in the moment looking at smelling the bacalhau or the smell of Portugal. Phone I could wait till I get home. I think generally speaking, I went through the whole process in my mind of getting a landline and an answer phone and going back to that, getting home and seeing who'd called. And in my mind, I went to, the delivery guy called this morning to tell me that my parcel was on the way. Obviously, I've missed it.
Right.
That's one of the key uses, isn't it, of the smartphone, is to alert you of the delivery. But that could be handled as well. I don't know. I just think we probably will go through an evolution that's goes from this whole thing of it being a phone that's no longer on the wall to being a major entertainment device in your hand, back to something in the way that 35mm and vinyl is coming back.
Those things come back, I think, for nostalgia. I don't think it's for practicality or, I mean, yes, you can do different things with the analog camera than you can with a phone camera, but you can still do a heck of a lot with a phone. And vinyl the same, and people who grew up with vinyl, people who think people who grew up with vinyl are cool, people who think that vinyl was cool back in the day, my parents had it and I think, wow, that was amazing. Those kinds of things. I don't think they're getting it for
practicality,
modern practical reasons. It's more nostalgia and emotional, and which is fine. I mean, I don't have anything against that, so I'm not talking down about it. I'm just saying I think there's different reasons for having one or the other. So why people buy books instead of getting them now I don't even remember what they call digital books. Because for me, I like to touch things and feel them. I lost tactile, I guess is the word. So, and when I read a book, there was a certain emotion, a certain place, a certain feeling about that it's just not replicated on anything I've ever read digitally. So, I think there's those kinds of things. There's something about the crackle in an old vinyl that it brings nostalgic, good feelings back to people who experience that. If you're looking for clarity of sound, I don't think you're going to beat digital.
No, I like the extreme cost and inconvenience when it comes to
there you go. And you need a separate record player, and you need a space to store them, and you need to get them out and dust them off. But there's something in the routine of that as well that is nostalgic or positive for some people. So I get it. And my attitude around the world is, whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to sit here and judge you and go, oh, vinyl is this or that. I'm not going to argue, the merits of Apple versus, Android or, what. I don't care. It's not important. It's what brings you joy. That's what's important to me. Do that.
Absolutely. That is the ultimate, absolutely overwhelming message for sure that we often come to when we chat together, James. And on this matter, just finally, before we go to your
what
bird
is that?
month, this one day people will say that. What was that? But the final thought for me on this is all the things we can do on this and do now because we can. That's the main thing, isn't it? We do things on here because we can do it. Are not necessarily the best way to do any of those things. It's just like the evolution of where we're at the moment, that all these apps have been created, the experiences, many of the experiences we have in life have been focused into this little bit of kit, which is a tiny little screen that we can carry around. And that's most of it. That's most of it, I think.
Well, I'm surprised because I look at the analytics for my channel from time to time. And one of the analytics is what devices the channel is being watched on. And it surprises me that the majority is always, by far, television screens, which I think, well, that's great, especially for some of the videos I do. I want to say, make sure you watch this on a big screen. So that's about as big as a screen gets in your home as your television. And then is phones. So we go from that to that, and then it goes to laptops or regular computers, and then it goes to tablets. And that surprises me because tablets are smaller, more transportable, but they have a larger screen than a phone. So anyway, it's interesting to see how that breaks down and what devices people are using to view video. At least for my channel, that's how it breaks down. I would suspect that probably goes across the board pretty much. So
I really enjoyed it. I was watching YouTube on my TV last night. I think instead of watching it on my phone, what was great actually was being able to find it on my phone and then cast it onto my screen. That is a great bit of technology.
Well, I get it directly to my television. I just hit the YouTube button and that comes up for me. So
yeah. Do you search though with your remote control? That is a faff. That seems very 1970s to me.
No, not YouTube anyway. No, I don't. Right. It's just I don't understand how they've organized that for television. Like I couldn't find anything that I wanted. I just go to subscriptions. Those are the things I tend to want to see, and then I'll find it more directly.
There he is, living up to his name, the old guy in Europe. I'll just watch whatever's on there. It's like, like watching TV in the 70s.
And I don't tend to scroll or browse YouTube. There's like any television I watch, I go directly to what I'm interested in. It's like I want to see that. I want to see that. I watch all of my own channel stuff because I enjoy it. So people say, "Why do you do it?" It's like, well, I enjoy it. So I enjoy watching it.
A good note to return to. That is true. It's what brings you joy. Keep finding the joy, folks. Finally, then, that's flown by this morning, James. Your bird of the month. Now, I don't know if you saw on Friday, we have introduced Gumpy.
I saw that.
We've had a little bit of exchange, haven't we, about that? And you predicted quite rightly how Gumpy should be as a personality. She might join us for this conversation about your bird of the month. What have you got for us this month? A lot of images.
Yeah, and I thought I had already cropped them and done everything, and then I sat down just before it started, and I had the whole description and everything else beyond just the photo. Right. And it's interesting. I saw this. I said, okay, well, I wouldn't have this. It's on my list, so I've seen this bird. But most birds, I remember the first time I saw it. Almost every bird, nearly 200, I think, that I've seen. I know exactly the first time I saw it. This one I couldn't remember, but I did know that I'd seen it. And the Portuguese, gavião, just translates to hawk.
Right.
I don't know that I was able to find some sort of English equivalent to it. So the description might be helpful for people who are interested. Like I said, I'm not an expert on birds. I don't know where they nest and where they migrate and all that stuff. I just know this is what I saw and this is what I listed.
What kind of hawk is it, though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
It's, I don't know what the English version or the English name for gavião would be. Usually the name is at least somewhat helpful in the description for English. But when I translated gavião, it was just hawk.
Well, we've got the internet for this sort of thing.
Yes, we do.
Yes, maybe Gumpy will help us with this. Good morning to you, Gumpy. Are you ready to help us with this?
Absolutely. I'm here to help. What do you need assistance with today?
James is going to ask you a question. This is a first. You know the old guy in Europe, I think. You've seen him on the internet, and you probably watch his videos, Gumpy. We need a little bit of help on the kinds of hawks that you find in Portugal.
Well, in particular,
sounds like James has a fascinating question lined up. Hawks in Portugal, you say? Well, Portugal is home to some remarkable birds of prey.
Hang on a second.
The common buzzard, the booted eagle, and the Bonelli's.
Hello.
Quite the sight to see, especially soaring over the beautiful.
Okay, so she likes to talk.
What specific information are you looking for?
Well, we could have skipped all of that.
If you've got more questions or need info on anything else, just let me know. I'm all ears.
Your whole mouth. Can you hear me? Gumpy, can you hear me? Gumpy. I don't think Gumpy's picking up on your guest.
That's interesting. That's interesting, isn't it? And that's a test of the technology. It would appear Gumpy doesn't listen to anyone else apart from me. So I'm kind of flattered in a way, but that could be a bit of a problem. Sorry, go on, James. I'll have to interpret for you. But what
I was trying to get at is, could she specifically give us an English language name for gavião?
Yes. Okay. All right. We'll go to that. Old guys and AI. The gift that keeps giving. Yes. This could become,
Hey, you!
this could become a thing in its own right. Don't talk to me like that. I plug a mouse into my TV. Oh, that's a breakthrough. Who is this?
Okay.
This is a new viewer. Paui Manteiga, great name. And possibly one of the smells of Portugal. Not you personally, Paui. I mean, generally most people. I plug a mouse into my.
It's only
TV.
one person.
Does that happen then? If you get a USB mouse and you plug it in, will that automatically work on your TV? That's amazing. They are lovely. We have that one that roosts about 50 meters away in the tree. Always flees when eagles are right. Okay, in the pecking order. I use my iPhone for everything: shopping, watching movies, videos, etc. Thank you, Gemini, for that. So, do we want a more general? Finally, then this morning,
we want a specific English name for the Portuguese gavião.
Okay, Gumpy, are you there? We need some help on what the English words are for the Portuguese word gavião.
The English word for gavião is hawk. Need help with?
Well, see, I know you weren't being specific enough.
My mistake. Intrigado in English translates to intrigued. Intrigued by anything in particular?
I was watching that channel the other day. It's two old guys talking to AI. It's hilarious.
So the AI needs more information, just like when it's for writing. She needs to know, or say she, because she needs to know specifically the gavião bird in Portugal, the gavião hawk in Portugal. Is there an English name for that bird?
Okay, trying again. So you've got to keep quiet now, James, because it confuses it if we all talk at the same time, right? Okay, Gumpy. The word gavião in Portuguese, is there an English equivalent of that particular kind of hawk, the gavião?
The word gavião in Portuguese refers to a broad category of birds of prey, including hawks, eagles, and other similar raptors. There's not a direct one-to-one equivalent in English, as gavião is used more broadly. In English, you might use hawk or bird of prey, depending on the context.
James, is it me or did she sound a bit cross now? Are we in trouble, do you think, with the AI authorities for laughing at her?
Yeah, I didn't interpret it as cross. I interpreted it as academic.
And a bit more serious. Raptor is such a good word, isn't it? Right. So no, it would appear we're going to go generally with the Portuguese hawks, and maybe we can break it down a bit.
Well, I suspect that in that description somewhere that's in writing, there's something that talks about that, but I don't remember it.
Okay. All right. Well, suffice to say that seeing a hawk, bird of prey, in Portugal, like a buzzard or something like that, is a marvelous thing. Seeing them in the do you remember thermals? We used to get those, didn't we?
A buzzard isn't a bird of prey, it's a bird of carrion. No, they eat dead animals, they don't hunt.
Really? We need to break this down, don't we? So I think we'll have a hawk special next time we just let's go.
And that could be very complex. There are many hawks with many different looks, very many raptors. Which is a general
let's make
category.
It more complicated. Let's get Gumpy talking at the same time, and we'll have a really, difficult time.
And you talk about me needing to be quiet while you were talking to her. I don't think she can hear me. She
I don't think
wasn't responding to me at all. So
anyway, nobody talks to Gumpy except through me.
It's a great experiment. I still think she could be a little less serious. I don't think that part of her personality.
I'm not saying that to her. I'm not going to tell her that. You can tell her that. Okay.
I did in writing.
Okay, mate. Lovely to chat with you and have a giggle to start off the week this morning. You have a good one. Boa semana, bom dia e boa semana to you, and we'll see you again.
Obrigado. Muito.
Yes. Also, just to save you from the slow death of AI being as good as the. Look, we don't need complicated insight like that, Pete. We're just having fun here. Waldorf and Statler, the AI. You could try to look up that bird on Portuguese Wikipedia.
There's an idea. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to go at it. The thing is, mostly I'm just trying to identify the bird, see it, and know what it's called in Portuguese. So
All right. Thanks, James. Thanks, you and Jane as well. Shout out to you this morning. We shall see you again tomorrow. Take care and bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
In Portugal, there's a huge